The Hill Generator Racing game is for those that want to create an endless racing game with dynamic terrain. If you hit play, you will see that easily. If you notice in the scene part, you can see how the terrain is being generated as the player moves through the environment. Coins will also appear, and whenever the player gets to the coins will go up and they will score, as you can see here on top. So let's explain now how all of this is achieved. The hierarchy is divided into different parts. First of all, we have the main camera that contains a world canvas. Inside the world canvas you will find the sky, the sun, the mountains, the clouds, the 2 points that are used for referencing the position of the birds and the clouds, which are A and B, as you can see here. And then you have the birds and also the coin text, which will contain the score of the player. This part is really easy to understand because the birds and the cloud move from left to right or to right to left using the cloud script, as you can see here, or the bird script that is really similar, but in fact what they do is change the speed of the movement. The next game object that is important in the scene is the car. The car is composed by two wheel joints that are 2D, one regarding the backward wheel and one for the forward wheel, and then we have a chassis. The chassis is also a box collider in 2D. So we have added the necessary parameters and rigid bodies in order to make the movement realistic enough. Then we have added in the vehicle movement, as you can see here, you can choose the max wheel motor speed, which will be the maximum speed that the car attains at the end of the acceleration process. Now let's move to the road manager. The road manager is the main script of this package that is going to generate the different elements of the roads along the path of the player, and at the same time is going to check where the trees are going to be created, where the polygons are going to be created, and where the coins are going to be instantiated to. So we have added these headings here for you to have an idea of the different meanings of the different variables. And the main road type variable is divided into sinusoid or random. If you use a sinusoid, you will see that the shape of the roads, whenever they are created, is going to correspond to a sinusoid form. Nevertheless, if you choose the random, you will see that the shape that is created afterwards is going to be also randomized. So you can select one or another in order to create different types of shapes for your path or for your roads. The next thing you can do is to change the different prefabs. So we have a road prefab here, a coin prefab, a polygon prefab, and a tree prefab that you can change easily into your game if you want to change the shape of the trees or the shape of the roads, whatever. Then we have different parameters for the coins, the trees, and the polygons, which will be used in order to know where they are instantiated or the number of coins that appear at each time. For example, if we want to add just one coin, we set this value to 0, and we'll see that the coins that are created will appear only once, like that. Okay, so we set this to the original value. And now let's get to the sinusoid parameters. When we have a sinusoid, you can see that we have two different values for the sinusoid parameters, which are the W and the A. W is going to be like the omega, which is going to be like the speed that represents the movement of the wave, and the A, that is going to be the amplitude. So if the amplitude is changed to 9, you will see that we have a really high, okay, a really steep curve that is really difficult to overcome with the car. And let's set this parameter to the original value, which is the optimum that we have obtained. And similarly, if we change this sinusoid to random, and if you change the volatility to 15, you will see that it has also a similar behavior as the sinusoid amplitude. So with all of these values, you can go ahead and try them and play with them in order to create a really cool environment for your game. This is all regarding the script of the road manager. Let's set the values to the original ones. Okay. And finally, we have added here the initial game objects, which are the ones that are by default at the beginning of the scene, which are these roads here, the trees at these points, and this ground element that is going to be instantiated at the beginning of the game. In order to finish this tutorial, we must say that we have another scene that is called the, I'm not going to save this, it's called exactly the same, but it's going to be set for Android, because in this case we have two buttons that are used to give gas or to brake the car. So for example, if we press the gas, now the car will go up and will go forward and will start moving, and if you hit the brakes, it will stop. You can see that we have a really cool animation that represents the movement of the pedal whenever the player hits the button, and whenever the player hits the brake pedal, happens exactly the same. So you have that cool animation that manages the buttons too. In order to finish this tutorial, I wanted to say that thanks for watching. I hope you consider downloading this package, and I hope you want to support also our work by joining and subscribing to our channel. If you have any doubts or final questions regarding this package, you can always contact us at the email provided in the beginning of this video. Thanks very much for watching, and keep up the good work developing your own games. You can support our work and get discounts at patreon.com/VRAR Cardboard Buddies.